Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah,
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Okay, so shall we start now?
Yes.
Yes, everyone is ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, are you provide the recording as well?
Yeah, recording is there. The session is being recorded and it will be shared with you. You can check with the Muskan.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, payment details.
Payment details. Muskan, are you there? Muskan?
No, sir, Sagar.
Okay, just a minute. What is your name?
Sagar, sir.
Sagar. Just a minute, Sagar. Muskan, some Sagar wants to talk to you. Just log in there. Just share your number with him. Okay. Sagar, just to check his number, you can contact. He will send you all details.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Just a minute. Just a minute. Yeah, just a minute. You got the number, Sagar?
Yeah, sir.
You take this number, you contact Muskan. She will provide you everything. Okay. Okay, guys. Some of you are into this. Please mute everyone. Yeah, mute everyone. This voice on these things will be recorded. So this will be, the clarity will not be there even for you guys because this will be shared ultimately with you only. Okay. Sorry, guys. So let us start with now. I'll refresh it once and then we'll get into the practicals today. Okay. Azure Data Factory, guys. So as we all know that Azure Data Factory is basically a ETL based service provided. ETL based, what is it? Service provided by what? Microsoft. Provided by what? Microsoft.
Sir, it is similar to Informatica ETL, sir.
Yeah, but this is cloud and on premises both. Informatica is only between the on premises system, but we can run the patches of that. That's not a problem. If you already have written some code in the Informatica, that code you can run in this by running a patch. See, that is called as SSIS patch. I'll show you that how to run that patch is on. Okay. So now at this point of time, let us not worry on this. Okay, guys. So now the next one is okay. So Azure Data Factory is basically a ETL based service provided by the Microsoft, and this is used for what? For performing the job of ETL. So ETL requires what, guys? Source. ETL requires what is that? Source, and it requires what is that? Target.
Target or
Yes, exactly.
destination.
Obviously we require the two things, source and what is the target. So between the source and target we apply what is that? ADF, which is called as what? Azure Data Factory. So what it does the job of what is that? Extraction. Okay, then it performs the job of what is that? Transformation, and then it performs ultimately the process of what? Loading. That is called as L. L stands for what? Loading, guys. So whereas when it comes to this extraction, transformation and loading between the source and the target, we can have the following sources here. Sources of what? Yes, guys, what is that? Sources of what? Data. See, here we are dealing with the data, guys. The sources of data. We can have the following source of data. So the following source of data. What is data? Tell me now. Data is nothing but what? Information, isn't it or not? Yes, everyone. Data is nothing but what? This is a information. Data is nothing but what? Information. Whereas we have, what is it? We can have the data. That is, we can have the data, and we can receive, or we can get the data from the following sources of data. What are those sources? The first and foremost source, obviously, we call it as what? Database, guys. Database. So database means what? The database is nothing but a place where information is recorded in which format here? Tabular format. That is in the form of what? Rows and columns, R and C, or that is rows and columns. Okay, that is called as what? A table, guys. That is called as what? A table. So whereas, and what type of databases you can have, guys? It can be, what is it? Oracle. You can have, what is it again? You can have, what is it? SQL Server. Okay, then we have, what is that? Teradata. And then we can have what?
DB2.
Yes, Informix. Yes, Informix DB2. Exactly, Informix. And we can have, what is that? DB2, as somebody said. Okay, DB2. Okay, DB2. And
Sybase.
exactly, very good. Sybase. Okay.
MySQL.
Yeah, MySQL. Okay.
Cassandra.
Yeah.
Sir, MongoDB it can perform here.
Pardon me?
MongoDB here it can
Yeah,
perform.
MongoDB. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, Postgres can
Talking
you
about
perform?
the Mongo wins this Apache one.
Postgres.
Yes, yes, of course. Every type of, database you can have, any kind of source, the immaterial of that you can get integrated with ADF. You need not worry about that. Every kind of data is supported here. You need not worry about that. Okay. So we can have the data in, what's that? Following sources. And next, apart from this, we can also have the data in, what is that? Files. So now tell me what type of files you have it, guys. I told you in the last class what are the files.
CSV files.
Huh?
Comma separated value file. CSV file.
Exactly, CSV, comma separated value file. Then we can have what? Excel files.
JSON.
XML files also.
Yes, somebody, JSON, XML file. Exactly. XML, there is extendable markup language. Then we can have, what is it? HTML, which stands for what?
HTML.
Hypertext markup language. And apart from this, what are the other files we can have? Anyone? Any idea?
The log files.
Log file will be text only, na? Most of the times.
RK and Avro.
Yes, excellent. Who is it?
This is Ravi.
Ravi, yes, Ravi. Avro,
Okay.
Parquet. Okay. Okay, Parquet.
Data files.
Where, yes, exactly. These are all the data files. I'll tell you, this Parquet file is a very, very important thing. We have it. Anyways, I don't want to disturb you guys now on this. Okay. So these are all the type of files we can have. Apart from this, what is it? You have it. The first is what? These are all the data sources we can say. What is that? Source of data. Data means what? Information. We can get the data from the database. We can get the data from the files. Okay. And then apart from this, what are the other things we can have the data? Yes.
ORC file format.
No, files, you leave it. What are the
Sir,
other sources?
video and audio.
Video and audio, that is nothing but we can say, okay, video and audio is also a type of file only, na? Video file we call it as, audio file we call it. So that is also, it has some extension. This is stored as a file. So all those comes under the files. So the databases, files, and apart from this, what are the other things we have can have?
Data from machines.
Exactly.
That file.
Yeah, yes, data from, what is it? Machines, or we can say social networking sites, okay, etc, etc. Okay, so these are all the sources of data we can say. We can get the data. So what we do in the job or during the time of performing the process called extraction, transformation, and what is that? Loading. We extract the data from the source. We extract the data from the source and we transform as per the requirement. We transform as per the requirement. What is the transformation? Transformation is the actual process of data summarization, guys. Transformation is the actual process of, what is that? Data summarization. So whereas the transformation we perform it, and once the transformation is performed, we perform, what is that? Loading. That means final data we will load it. And now, guys, based on what is the criteria on which we perform the transformation on the data? The transformations are always performed. Make sure all of you, the transformations are always performed based on the requirement of the end user. Transformations are always performed based on the requirement of the end user. End user means what? Who is the end user? Ultimately the person who is using it. Suppose now guys, we all are using the mobile phones. We are called as what? End users. But as per the requirement of the user only, the manufacturer manufactures the product, isn't it or not? The same way here also, as per the requirement of the user only, we have to perform the job of extraction, transformation and loading. And we all are referred as called as what? Data engineers. We all called as what? A person who provides the data. A person who provides the data to the analyst. A person who provides the data to the analyst. That means analyst will receive the data from where? From the target. Further from the target, further from the target, the data will be loaded. Further from the target, the data will be loaded. So that is that is data will be picked up by the that is something called as what? The user. So here we have what is that? Analyst, or we can also have what is that? Data scientist. So based on the requirement of the guys, based on the requirement of the data scientist. So data scientist requires the data for performing some prediction. Analyst requires the data for what? Performing some kind of what is that? Operations. So here we can have what is that? All this. So to as per their requirement, the data engineer will collect the data and transform the data and ultimately load the data into the target. Okay guys, so am I clear everyone? I want a reply from you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so now guys, so only 4 or 5 people is responding out of 60 participant, whatever we have it. Yes guys, I want a reply from every one of you. You want to really,
Yes, sir.
you should reply. You want to,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah,
Now
go.
today we are using mainly JSON files only, no? Yes.
No, we use the JSON files, we use the Parquet files, we use
Okay.
the Avro files also. We have many
Yes.
types. Parquet is the most important because Parquet is the file based on which we develop the delta format. delta lake, not the data lake. Delta lake is a very good concept right now. It's booming in the market. Anyways, we'll see this. Okay, don't worry. So now guys, this is the thing we have it. That's it. Now apart from this, now let us start with the subject here. Now guys, as we have already discussed, we get the data from which sources, etc., etc. I think again I do not go on to this. Now today we'll start with what is that? I'll just see what type of data you can have. Types of data. Yes guys, types of data. How many types of data we can have?
Integer type.
Three types,
Exactly.
sir. Structured data, unstructured data, and semi-structured data.
Exactly. Structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. So semi-structured. Structured means what?
Sir, rows and
Complete
columns.
complete data.
Structured. And what is that? Semi-structured.
Complete data.
Half structured data.
Excel sheet form.
Unstructured data.
I'm just brushing. Yes, I'm just brushing up all the things before.
Rows and columns. Total.
Yes, exactly. So semi-structured. And the third one is called as what?
Unstructured data.
Unstructured.
Unstructured.
Data. Okay, guys. So sorry. So structured data means what? The data which is stored in the form of what? Table. That is in the form of what is that? Table. That is called as what? Table. That is in the form of rows and exactly columns.
RDBMS.
Yes, exactly. See, RDBMS, the data which is stored, see, not only in the form of rows and columns or RDBMS, even the data stored in the CSV format, it is the form of rows and columns. So that is also called as what? Structured data. The data stored in an Excel file, that is also structured data only. Okay, so semi-structured means what? Data stored in the, yes guys, Data stored in what?
XML.
Exactly, JSON file, XML file, and then we have what's it, HTML file, and then we can have what is that? Even the Parquet file. Okay, Parquet file, and even can have Avro file, etc. These are called as what? Semi-structured formats. Actually, they does not has the proper structure and human readable structure. Okay, but these files can carry a very large amount of data with a very little space. That is the advantage and that is the use of it, guys. Okay, anyways, we will discuss each one of the file once we get into the subject. And unstructured means what? The data which does not has any structure. Your photographs, videos, etc, etc.
RTU.
Exactly, all these are called as what? Unstructured. That's it. And that is called as what? Unstructured file. That is the data. So
Sir,
these,
log files.
yeah, log files basically we can have it, but log will also have there is some extension. Most of the files, most of the time, the log files stores okay, basically in the that is in the some kind of JSON, sometimes in the JSON format, and sometimes even in the text format. So actually we don't consider the log file as basically an unstructured data. Okay, so most of the times we consider
WARC
that.
files.
Pardon me? Yeah, ORC files.
WARC
Yes, of course, ORC. ORC file is
is
basically, yeah. It comes under the semi-structured.
semi-structured or
Yes, no, semi-structured. ORC is in the semi-structured. See, ORC, Parquet, Avro, XML, JSON, these are all comes under what is that? Semi-structured only, guys. Okay, so these are the three type of data we can have now, guys. So as now I'm just getting into the subject now. If you have any doubt in this, just go through once for a second, all of you. If you have any doubt, just immediately ask me the question. I'll tell you any question, no issues, because I want before we move ahead, I want everyone to just go through it once. Yeah, any doubts?
Sir, exactly
no.
on premises matlab what is the meaning, sir? Exactly on premises matlab source.
Nothing but
Yes,
physical
so,
server.
just a minute. Just who asked me this question?
Ramkrishna.
Ramakrishna. See, basically, on premises and on clouds. I'll give you a very simple example. You're using mobile phone, now.
Yes.
You're using mobile phones. What type of memories you have in your mobile phone?
Lot of memories.
No, I mean to say you're storing the data in mobile memory as well as on the your Google Drive, isn't it or not?
Yes.
Your
Absolutely.
Google Drive data is called as cloud data,
Yes.
and your mobile phone data is called as what? On premises.
That is source.
Exactly. See, don't mistake here. Source can also be cloud. Source
Okay.
can also be cloud, and target can also be cloud. Don't that is mistake that only source can be on premises. Getting my point?
Yes.
It can vice versa. It can have anything. You can have on premises here also.
Okay.
On prem you can also here also we can have it. That is no compulsion. There is no hard and fast rules here. We can have on premises here also.
Okay.
Getting my point? So
Yes.
don't worry about that. You have to consider that on premises or cloud, the data is there or not. But ADF basically supports all the type of things, whether it is on premises or clouds or whatever it may be.
Okay. Suppose in the data is in cloud, so we have to retrieve the data into our on local my mobile. That time also we call it the on premises my mobile only, na?
On premises generally what is happening is nowadays the reverse process is being taken place. That is, we are moving from on premises to cloud.
Yes.
But cloud to on premises in very rare cases, or for one or two reports generation or some one or two formats. Suppose you require to attach some data, we just import that type of thing. Generally we don't perform it.
Okay.
So anyways, that's
Yeah.
okay. I can just once. Yeah, go ahead. Who's this?
Simanchal,
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, can we perform ELT or only ETL action? will
ELT
perform?
also you can perform it. ELT also you can perform it. ELT we can perform it based on the the ELT concept is developed to make a the ELT concept is basically developed and it got into existence because of the artificial intelligence. ELT, okay, artificial intelligence and machine learning machine learning we have it, ML.
Okay.
So anyways, I don't want to just confuse you guys with all those things. I'll tell you step by step. Okay, so any doubt till here, guys?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No doubts.
Okay,
No, sir.
everyone.
No.
No, sir.
No,
Okay.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Right. Let's move further now. Now here, what is it we required? As you know that for the process of ETL, we require the source and what is that? Target. Source and what is that? Target. Now, the source and target requires some mode of transport. See, if you want to travel from Hyderabad to Bangalore, do you require a mode of transport or not? You can go by walk.
It's a
Means
mode
we
of
need-
transport, sir,
we
by
need-
using like
Yes.
car, bus,
Yes,
train,
exactly.
flight.
We require a mode of transportation. It is mandatory. So what you'll do is either you'll book a you'll hire a 4-wheeler, or you'll hire a bus, you'll hire a train, flight, whatever it may be, you have it. More means of transport or mode of transport is very, very important for you to travel. Now here also, guys, the source will have the data, isn't it or not? The source will have the data, and data has to be transported from the source to what is that, guys? Target. The data has to be transported from source to what is that? Target.
Target.
Yes, exactly. We are using that is service called ADF, but ADF, what it does, it for that it requires a what is that thing called what? Pipeline. That is called as what? Pipeline. Pipeline means what? That is called as data pipeline. We call it as what? Data pipeline. We require a data pipeline. So whereas to carry the data from the source to the target, guys, just concentrate here. To carry the data from the source to the target, the ADF requires what? The ADF requires a data pipeline to be designed. The ADF requires what is that? A data pipeline to be designed to carry the data from the source to what is that? Target. So what is pipeline? Pipeline is nothing but it decides the, or it monitors the, or it decides the orchestration of data from the source to the target. That is nothing but how the data should be transported from the source to the target. It is decided by the pipeline. It is decided by what is that? Pipeline. So hence it is called as what? Data pipeline. Hence it is called as, guys, what? Data pipeline. It is called as what? Data pipeline. So pipeline is a component of ADF, guys. Pipeline is a component of ADF, that is Azure Data Factory. First component we are discussing. So the ADF is a component of ADF. That pipeline is a component of ADF which is used to carry the data from the source to the target. For example, I'm giving example, guys. Every one of us is staying in some apartment or individual house, whatever it may be. But right now, we are habituated of getting the water directly in our wash areas, whether it can be the bathroom or kitchen or sink, whatever it may be. we are habituated of getting we are habituated of running water, isn't it or not? Everyone, we just whenever you want to use the wash area, simply we switch on the tap and we should get the water. That is our, right now the thing, that is something, but we expect like that, isn't it or not? Yes, guys. Yeah. Do we expect the water? Do you expect the running water in your tab or not in the wash area?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So whereas ultimately, now tell me, water is what? Water is a necessity of human being to live for survival. Yes. So just Dilip, just mute yourself. Okay, so now the next one is, so now guys, you are getting the water. From where we get the water? So water is nothing but either you can get it from the ground, that is from the borewell
From
water.
tap.
Yeah. Ultimately,
Or well.
yeah, well, or the borewell
A
water.
river.
Exactly. The next one is what? The municipal water, which you get it from the that is nothing but the river water, what we consume it or what we drink it. Okay. So whereas guys, ultimately from the river till your home or till your residence or till your that is a tap, how the water reaches? The water reaches through a pipeline only, isn't it or not? Pipeline is the source which carries the water from the source of water till the requirement. That means something but to get the water into your tap, the tap should be connected with a pipeline, and pipeline is ultimately the source of extracting the water either from the ground or from the river, whatever it may be, isn't it or not? So we can say what? Pipeline is the source of getting the water. In the same way here also guys, pipeline is the source of getting the data in ADF. Pipeline is what? Pipeline is a source of getting the data in
the water.
Yes, exactly. Pipeline is a source of getting the data, okay, in ADF from the source to the target, which is used to carry the data. Now guys, let us start with this. I'm just writing components of ADF. Components of ADF. Azure Data Factory. So first of all, we should understand what is the components of ADF. So whereas in order to transport the data from the source to the target, the ADF requires the following components. The first and foremost component is called as what? Pipeline, which is also called as what? Data pipeline. Which is also called as what? Data pipeline. And the second one is called as what? Yes, guys. The first one is the data pipeline, and the second one is called as the data sets. Data sets or data sets, we can say. And the third one is called as what? Linked service. And the fourth one is called as that is called as mapping data flows. Mapping data flows. And the fifth one, that is pipeline, data set, linked service, mapping data flows. And the fifth one is what is that? You have it. Okay.
Activities.
Yes, activities. Activity. Okay. And apart from the activity, okay.
Maybe storage account.
No, storage accounts, that is for storage of data. Okay. So we have what's that? Pipeline, data set, linked service, mapping data flows, activities, and then we have the triggers. And the next one is what is it? You have it? Integration runtime. Integration runtime, which we also call it as what? IRs. Guys, we call it as what? IR. Integration runtime. So these are some of the components. Which is mandatorily required for designing a pipeline. As a ADF engineer or as a data engineer, we all are responsible for designing a data pipeline. We all are responsible for what? For designing a data pipeline. And the data pipeline, okay, and the data pipeline consisting of what is that? The following components. Without these components, you cannot design a data pipeline. So to design a data pipeline, we require what is that? The following components, which is very mandatory. Yes, guys. So first and foremost is what is that? Pipeline. So what is the pipeline? I already explained you what is a pipeline. Pipeline is nothing but it is a source which carries the data from the there is nothing but pipeline is the component of ADF which carries the data from the source to the target, and as it carries the data, it is called as what? Data pipeline. It is called as what? Data pipeline. So we can say that the pipeline is nothing but it decides, guys, technical abbreviation I can tell you, pipeline is nothing but it decides the orchestration of data. It decides what is that? The orchestration of data from the source to the target. So now, guys, what is this word called orchestration? Can anyone tell me?
Sir, automation.
Okay, automation. Yeah. Any other any other this thing?
Orchestration means planning in a certain manner.
Landing in a
Planning in a certain required manner means
exactly.
as per the requirement.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Yeah. Any other? Yes, guys, we have 60 participants.
Scheduling automation.
Okay.
Enhancement.
Okay. Very good. Any
To
other?
compose.
Yes. Who is this?
To compose.
Yes. Who is this?
Narasimha.
Yes, Narasimha. Okay, compose. Very good, very good, very good. This thing. Okay, guys, I'm not talking about this. The orchestration related to the pipeline. Just generally, I'm asking you the word of called orchestration. Orchestration is nothing but okay. It is the flow, how it should flow. So, guys, we all right now, even nowadays, we all are very used to watching the reality shows, suppose you have this reality show called Indian Idol, or even we have what is that Kapil Sharma show is there. Okay.
Big Boss.
Yes, Big Boss, not
Dance,
Big Boss.
India Dance.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so we have this Kapil Sharma show, I think. Okay, so now, guys, what happens? There you have some judges sitting, and some that is contestant will perform there in Indian Idol. They will come and they will sing, and whereas parallelly during the time they sing, what happens here? Parallelly, the musical team which is standing somewhere at the corner, they'll be playing the music. And one person there who will be standing there, who will be shaking his hands upwards, downwards. Have you ever observed that?
It's called conductor,
Yes.
musical conductor.
Yes, exactly. Very good, very good. Musical conductor, exactly. That means he conducts. So what he's doing, whenever he raises his hand, means the this musical note should go up. When he takes his hand down, means the musical note should go down. So what he does, actually, he is orchestrating. He's called as what? Orchestrating the music. How the music should flow. What should be the flow of the music? Upwards, downwards, straight, whatever it may be. Okay, so that means that person is basically orchestrating the flow of the music. In the same way here, the pipeline is nothing but it decides the orchestration of the data, how the data should flow, in what manner should the data flow, what should be the speed of the data. Getting my point, guys? What should be the speed of the data, at what level it should flow. All these things is decided by a pipeline. Is decided by what? Pipeline. It is just like, guys, it is just like you want to play some video. So you will have a video playlist. In that you will find play video fast, and 1.5 something speed, or you want the normal speed, or you have a very super fast speed. That means if you just say super fast speed, the video will be played in the super fast manner, that is the forwarded manner, that is in what is that forwarded manner, isn't it or not? So in the same way here also we can decide the speed of the pipeline, what should be the speed, and what level the data should be collected, and what should be the size of the data. Everything we can decide it. That means it is decided by the component called what? Pipeline. So hence we call it as what? Pipeline is nothing but it orchestrates the data, the flow of the data, orchestrates the flow of the data, guys, orchestrates the flow of the data from the source to the target. Getting my point? Whereas from the source to the target, it orchestrates the data. But how the data will be stored? The data will be stored in the form of what? Data sets. So what do you mean data set? A data set is nothing but here it is called as a table. And table is a collection of what, guys? Rows and columns. As we all know, it is a collection of what? Rows and columns. Where a data set is the collection of what? A data set is a collection of what? Observations. OBS means what? Observations. And then next one, what is it? We have it variables. Whereas observations are nothing but what? Observations are nothing but what? Rows are called as observations. For clarity, I'm writing it. Observations are nothing but what? Rows. Variables are nothing but what, guys? Columns. Here. So whereas data set is nothing but a data set is the collection of observations and variables. It is used to store the data in the Azure data factory. That means ultimately the data will be recorded in the form of a rows and columns. In the form of what, guys? Rows and columns. And this data will be carried out from one source to the target by using what is that? A pipeline. Yes, everyone is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir.
we have, yeah, we have almost all 60 participants. So
Yes,
I want
sir.
everyone. Yes. So guys, what is a
Yes.
pipeline? Pipeline is nothing but it decides the orchestration of the data from source to the target. And it stores the data in the form of what? Data sets. That means here the data will be stored in the form of what is that? Data set. I can say like this. Data set. The data will be recorded in the form of what? Data set. Getting my point? So this is how the data will be stored. Now guys, one more thing. As we know that, yeah. Who is it?
Sir, in data set, you are saying that it is stored in a table format, right?
Yeah.
So if it is structured, unstructured, it is also stored in a table format, or the format will
Yeah, that is the beauty of the, that is the actual job of the data engineer to convert that unstructured data here. That is the extraction means not simply pulling in data. If it is simply pulling in data is there, then any programmer can do that. What is the necessity of having a data engineer? The data engineering job is what? The type of data you have to apply this, the complete logic on that, how to convert the data. That is, you will get the messy data waste. That means you cannot work on that data. That data you will convert into proper format on the form of rows and columns. That is actually the job of the data engineer. You'll see once we see the examples and the case studies we are going to start, you'll come to know what exactly the things we have it. Okay, so now guys, the next one you have it as, guys, mapping data flows. I will tell you link services. Wait. So mapping data flows. So what do you mean by mapping data flows? Mapping data flows is nothing but actually applying the transformations on the data. Getting my point? Applying what is that? Transformations on the data is called as what? Mapping data flows. The transformations are performed by using an component of ADF called what is that? Mapping data flows. What type of data should be loaded into the target after performing the transformation? So whereas this transformation is called as what? Mapping data flows. The transformation is called as what? Mapping data flows. Getting my point, guys, all of you? I want a reply. No reply.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So yes, mapping data flows is nothing but what? Applying the transformation. Transformations, all the transformation, whatever the type of transformation. That means data summarization process. This entire thing will be stored, or that is it is called as what? Mapping data flows. The transformation in ADF is called as what? Mapping data flows. That's what you can see. Okay, so which is nothing but a major component of ADF. Now, guys, just a minute. Now I will tell you a very important thing that is called as linked service. What exactly the linked service is, I'll tell you. Now guys, here you have the data stored in some JSON file. In which file? The data is stored in some JSON file is here. In the source. In the source, you have the data stored in the JSON file. Getting my point? From this JSON file, you need to get the data. You need to get the data into ADF. Guys, ADF. So whereas whenever you want to get the data into ADF from this JSON file, do we have any relationship between this JSON file and ADF?
As of now, no, sir.
No.
You want to meet the Chief Minister of Telangana. Can you go and directly meet him?
Sir, it's a protocol.
Exactly. You will have protocol. You have to go to the reception. There you have to inform the security people. They will check with the personal assistant of the Chief Minister and whatever it may be. Through them only you can go and meet him. Isn't it or not? So now suppose you have a personal assistant of the Chief Minister of Telangana. He is the person who is going to relate you with the CM. That means he will act as a mediator between you and the Chief Minister. That means he will collect it from you. What is the purpose of meeting the Chief Minister? He will convey the same to the Chief Minister that so and so person, the resident of Telangana and a resident of Hyderabad, wants to meet you regarding this. This is his query. Isn't it or not? So the PA, what he is doing? The PA is creating the relationship between the Chief Minister and the normal citizen of Telangana. Isn't it or not, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes. In the same way, here also, as there is no connection between the ADF and the JSON file, to create a connection between both of them, ADF and JSON file, we require a mediation here. That is called as what? Linked service. That is called as what? Linked service. We use what is that? Linked service here. Yes, to creating the relationship between the ADF and what is the JSON file. And once the data is accessed into the ADF, now what we do after the data is accessed into the ADF, we perform the transformation. Transformation means what? Mapping data flows. Transformation means what? Mapping data flows. Okay, guys, we apply the mapping data flows here. Mapping data flows. And once that mapping data flows or transformation is applied, then what we do? Tell me now. We load the data. Transformation. Transformation is called as what? Mapping data flow. And now, guys, after that mapping data flows is applied, what we do ultimately? Yes, we load the data into the form of what? Data sets. And further, after the data is loaded into the data sets, what we do? We perform the loading. We perform the loading of the data. Getting my point? Now tell me in this particular, and now from this point, can you see here, all of you? From this point till this point, from this point till this point, guys, just a minute. From this particular point till here, this is called as what? Yes, guys, this is called as what?
ETL.
Uh-huh.
Pipeline.
Exactly, very good. Pipeline, exactly, pipeline, which is called as what? Data pipeline. We call it as what? Data pipeline. Getting my point? So data pipeline, within the data pipeline, you will have linked service, you will have transformations, you will have data sets, and you will ultimately load the data. So this entire thing is called as what? Pipeline, which is also called as what? Data pipeline. That means a pipeline which is consisting of the data. A pipeline which is consisting of the data is called as what? Data pipeline. Getting my point, all of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so this is nothing but, so how many components we have done with? Pipeline, data sets, linked service, and mapping
components.
data flows. Now guys, the next activity.
Also, sorry,
Yeah.
one question.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, that data set, right? We are loading JSON file data into like table, like we call it observation and variable. So you are saying that loading, right? Is that like data sets? Means I didn't get like how it is different. Like data set and loading phase, how it's different.
See, basically, data sets, what is, you just forget about data set. You remember the table now, that's it. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
you remember the table. Source.
Sir,
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Yeah.
here you mentioned JSON file only. It is for only JSON file or any semi-structured data?
I have just taken this example. Any data you have it, whether you have a JSON file or you have a Oracle database, any type of source of data you have it, you must and should have a linked service. Getting my point? Now, Ma, who was that girl who just asked me a question?
Yeah, Pranali.
Yeah. See, Pranali, what happens here is, this is the JSON file. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are actually starting, the point of starting. Okay. Yes, point of starting is this, isn't it or not? Point of start from where we access the data into JSON. So actually this JSON, you will get it from what? From the actually users, any user. Okay. From the client side or whatever it may be, you get the data. What we do, we get this data into the ADF. Getting my point? ADF. So to create the relationship between this file and the ADF, I am using the link service here.
Yeah.
But whereas after getting into the ADF, where do you store it?
Is it something like stage we use in SSIs kind of?
Not exactly. Staging, you can say it. Okay, staging you can say, but exactly not the staging here. Staging actually comes here at this particular point, before the transformation and before the loading. After the transformation and before the loading, the staging comes here actually. In this in between this part, you'll get the staging data. Okay, so now what happens is here, see, the data that if we have created the relationship, that is linked service, and applied the ADF. And once the ADF is applied, and so what happens within this ADF, we need to store the data. Na? We need to store the data. So for that, what we do is we use some lakes of storing. So ADLS, Azure Data Lake. Okay. Within these lakes, the data will be stored in what? In the form of data sets. Data sets is nothing but what? Tables. Data sets is nothing but what? Tables here. We store the data actually here like this. And now from here only, exactly the job of transformation will start. From there only the data will be pulled in here. And after that, the data is pulled in here. Again, we perform the transformation. And after the transformation is applied, here you will have the staging part. Staging will come here. Staging. After the staging, yes, after the staging, then you can perform the further process of loading here. Anyways, now I don't want to confuse it. Just try to remember it right now only at this point of time. The data in the Azure Data Factory will be stored in the form of a data sets. Data sets are nothing but a tables, which is required at the source level, or also it requires at the target level. Okay. So now we have a, so yeah, yeah, question. Go ahead.
Yeah, how data sets are different from data frames?
Data frames and the data sets basically about the environment. So the data frames in the Spark environment, we call it as a data frames. But here in ADF, we can integrate with the data frames also. Getting my point? The data frames or data sets are quite relatively similar only. There is no, this thing we have it. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir. But in the Spark, no, we have both of the different component, like the data frame and data set.
Yes, we can have the data loaded in the DBFS also, Databricks file system, something like that we have it. And even we have the data, we can store it in the data frame. Okay. So anyways, I will discuss that because the people other who are not aware with this, they may be getting confusion on this. So just I want you guys to just concentrate on this. Will discuss each and everything we will discuss. You don't worry about this. Okay. So guys, so here in this particular process from the source to the target, how many components we are using? Pipeline is the first component, and data sets to store the data, and linked services to create the relationship between the ADF and the external source, whatever you have it, mapping data flows to perform the transformation ultimately. Okay, guys. And then we have, what is that? Triggers. Now, guys, you wanted to wake up tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. Every one of you, I'm just giving an example. You want to wake up at tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock and you slept at 2 o'clock. Can you wake up at 5 o'clock if it is not a regular practice for you?
No, sir.
No.
What is that you require?
Alarm.
Alarm. Very good. Yes, everyone, do you require the alarm, guys?
Yes.
Exactly. Now, how do you affix an alarm? Yes.
We schedule something for that.
You schedule it, but where do you schedule it? In a wall clock, in a table clock, in a mobile phone?
Mobile.
Schedule is called a trigger. Alarm schedule called a trigger.
Exactly. Very good. Okay. So now, guys, you will fix it the alarm in your mobile phone. But suppose nowadays what is happening? If you want to wake up at 5 o'clock, we put an alarm at 4 o'clock, 4:30, 4:45, and 5 o'clock, because we wake up in very installments, isn't it or not? So in the same way, whenever you want to wake up at 5 o'clock, how many alarms you have put? 4 alarms. Though you have already waken up till that time, you already woke at 4 o'clock. Though you have to wake up at 5 o'clock, but you woke up at 4 o'clock itself. So at that time, will that alarm will ring in your mobile phone or not?
Ringing, sir. Ringing.
Yes, will ring unless until you disable it. Unless until you disable it, it will ring, isn't it or not?
Yes, sir.
So it will ring. So whereas
Sir, we have scheduled that.
Yes, we have already scheduled that. Whereas here also, the pipeline which is scheduled to be run. Okay, that means the pipeline has to be triggered off. To be what's that? Triggered off. Has to be triggered off for starting. Okay, for starting. So at that time, suppose I want to run this data pipeline on 31st of August, 31st of August 2022 at around 1300 hours. At around, what is that, 1300 hours I want to run this. Getting my point? So around 1300 hours. That means what? At 1 o'clock I want to run it. Okay, 1300 hours means what? It is 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. guys?
1 p.m.
Exactly. Okay. So whereas I want to schedule it at 1300 hours, so whether I am there or not, this pipeline should start running. It should start the data picking up from this JSON file and ultimately perform the transformation, whatever you want, and ultimately load the data into the target here. Load the data into, what is that? Target. I want the target data to be uploaded here, whether my presence is there or not. So that is possible by using the concept called what? Triggers. By using the concept called, what is that, guys? Triggers. Getting my point? By using the concept called what? Triggers, it is possible. Whereas we have three kind of triggers. What is the trigger? Scheduled triggers. The first one is called as what? Scheduled triggers. And the second one is called as what? Event-based triggers. Event-based triggers. And the third one is called as tumbling window trigger.
Sir,
Tumbling window trigger. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Who's this?
Simansal here. Sir, yeah, so this trigger we are scheduling 31st August means we are doing this as a batch process. Can you do like it's stream?
Very good, very good, very good. Excellent question. You can run it in the batch mode or concrete mode. That is not a problem. You have to schedule that also. Whether you want to run it on a batch or in a, parallelly. One after the other. Yes.
Can you do in the live data means stream the data?
Yes, of course. Why not? We can do it.
Okay.
We can do it. Of course, we can do it.
Okay.
Now, guys, we will have three type of triggers. Scheduled triggers. We can have what's that? Scheduled triggers, event-based triggers, and tumbling window trigger. Whereas these three type of trigger, you can schedule it. And once you schedule it, you need not, your presence is not required at that particular point of time. Automatically, it will start running. Getting my point? Automatically, it will start running. Getting my point, guys? Whether the human, without the human intervention, these triggers will start. Okay, this will kickstart the pipeline. It will kickstart the data pipeline. It will kickstart the data pipeline to begin and end the process. Getting my point? In case of data pipeline failure, what is that? Failure. You want some notifications. That notification is nothing but what? Email notification you want. Or else nowadays we are also monitoring in our mobile phones. We are having apps to monitor this. Okay, so we are using even mobile phone. I want an alert on my mobile phone also. On my mobile phone, and a particular mobile number also I want a message alert. Okay, that also it is possible by using the trigger concept. Getting my point, guys?
So what is tumbling window trigger?
Tumbling window trigger is basically what we do is I'll explain you in detail later, but right now what I can tell you, there will be, we have to create a window, okay, for a specific data, and okay, we'll run that. It's a type of, a complicated, complex thing we have it, tumbling window. So once we get into the subject only, I can explain you. But whereas the above two, what is that? You have scheduled and event based. This is very simple. Scheduled means what? At a particular time, date, I want to run it. That you can give it as a schedule. Event based means what? On every Friday, I want to run this. Every Friday. That means every Friday you want to run this. So that means this particular event is what? Weekly event. This event is what? Weekly event. In every week you will have on Friday. Okay. So that is nothing but, or you can say on every 31st of every month. On 31st of every month. That means how many times this will trigger here in a year? It will trigger for only how many times it will
12,
trigger?
12, sir.
Not 12, 31st. Every month you will have 31st.
Oh, 7, 7, 7, 7.
Yes, 7. It will trigger it, what is that? 7 times. So this type
Repeat
of,
week.
this type of scheduling we can do it into the that is nothing but called as what? In the triggering concept. In the concept of what? Triggering. Yes, guys. Who is this? You want to ask something?
Yes. So do we have any kind of services like where this pipeline will save and how it will be integrated with, like how this ADF data set and all the things will be integrated, integration service and repository service, anything we have?
Of course, that's what the 7th component we have it.
Okay.
The 7th components which we are going to discuss it, that is nothing but we have the integration runtime. Okay, guys. So all of you just tell me now. This 5 things is clear: pipeline, data sets, linked service, mapping data flows, activities, and trigger. So activities we have to discuss it. I'll discuss it tomorrow. So we have pipeline is clear, everyone. I want a reply from each one of you guys.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Data set is okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Linked service
Yes, sir.
and mapping data flows
Yes, sir.
and triggers.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I
Yes,
think
sir.
we are
Trigger,
yes.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Can
Go
we
ahead.
say file as a trigger?
Uh
Can we say file as a trigger?
no. File is not a trigger.
Because in the real scenario, I have seen that some file is not present or not received.
Uh,
So mail communication is like that. They have not
that is
received trigger.
yes. That you can trigger it off. You can write that condition. That's not a thing. You can
So
write that.
that is the, I think like event based trigger.
Yes, exactly.
Top right, I think so, sir.
Okay. So basically,
Samir,
yeah. Go
here
ahead,
I
go.
need small suggestion.
Tell me.
I have one requirement. For example, whenever CSV file is uploaded into blob storage, some
Exactly.
container.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
Databricks job should be triggered and starts its execution. Let's say today I have 10 files in container.
Okay.
Tomorrow, customer comes and uploads one file, CSV file.
Yeah, that means you want to start this trigger on uploading of the blob only. Getting my point, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that is called as event based.
We don't upload, customer will upload.
Yes, whenever the customer uploads it,
extract the data, whatever.
Yes, exactly. I got your point. Whenever the customer is uploading the blob, yes, go ahead. Whenever the customer is uploading the blob, you want to start this, you want to schedule or you want to trigger this pipeline, isn't it?
My Databricks job should identify that file, which file is uploaded to blob storage.
Okay.
And my Databricks job should extract that file location and grab the data, whatever is available in that CSV file.
Okay.
And store it into somewhere else in maybe
the target.
SQL server. Yeah, target.
Target.
How can I achieve this requirement?
See, for that, basically, this requirement requires, basically, you want the triggering concept or you want something else on this?
I don't know about anything regarding this, but I just need to achieve this requirement.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. You can use a event-based trigger, design a pipeline with the event-based trigger, wherein the event you can specify, wherein event you can that is nothing but specify this particular condition, and here also you require the stored procedure. Okay, you also require a stored procedure, and if condition also is required within the activity. We have this is a very the good requirement what you are telling about this, but I cannot tell you only one line that you can do this and you can achieve it. You require the following list of activities if is required, if condition, because you have to specify on uploading of the blob this pipeline should trigger, and that if condition has to be attached with that event based trigger here, and then we can schedule it on a particular time and leave it. That's it. Automatically it starts off.
Okay.
Yes. Tell me.
So here one more thing, like Samir, like if you like here so on cloud, Azure cloud, so we'll be receiving any file. So that will be like, let's say if I will do kind of in a on-premise mode, so we'll have a particular drive where we will save the file and we will search for the location to, if the file arrives, then you run certain jobs.
Okay.
So here, where do we save the file? Like, is it something containers or something?
Storages. We have to see that. After this, I will tell you the storages.
So we have storage units where we'll save that.
Of course, storages are there. So first of all, I thought of just telling you the components. Then we'll tell you the storages, and then we'll see the entire start the practical directly.
Okay. And one more thing, like when we'll be starting this Azure data brick classes, so that will be like on morning or when we are going to start?
Bricks will be morning 9 a.m.
So that will be on September month, or like it's already started.
Yeah. No, no, not started. Like you will have this one from the September 1st onwards. We'll have the big classes.
So there you will teach the Python, like PySpark, some
Yes,
modules.
yes,
Or...
yes, yes, yes. Of course, in that only we'll see this Spice Park and all those things.
Okay. Okay.
And sir, when we will start the practical sessions in ADF?
Once this is completed, the the components.
How many session will require
Tomorrow
for
will
that?
start. Tomorrow will start.
Okay. Okay.
Tomorrow we'll start the practicals.
Okay, sir.
I'll show you the practicals tomorrow.
Sir, will you share daily class notes or you give any material of completed?
Material is also there. The class notes means what? These running notes, I can type the note here. You can copy it. The other way is you have it is you'll have the recording now. So with that recording also you can write it down the things. So generally as you have a recording, so class notes we don't provide it, but like the material and all, I'll just upload it onto this the drive. I'll upload it. We'll have a drive. Google Drive access will be given to all of you, so you will have there and you can just access the data, and this Google Drive access will be for 6 months. Okay, and if you want more than that, you can just request them and extend it for more 6 months also. That's not a problem. Yeah, go ahead, guys.
And sir, end of the session, are you planning to provide the interview?
Yeah, obviously interview means you mean to say interview questions, or you mean
interview
to say
preparation? Yeah, interview preparation.
Yeah, interview questions and preparation, rest of the things, and resume planning and all the things. I can help you out. So you can prepare your CV and send me off. You have any changes, I'll let you know. You can go ahead accordingly.
Sure, sir. Okay.
Samir, today class is the first class or already started it?
See, basically, this is from the starting basics only. Okay.
Okay.
It was the first we had a demo, and this is the second we have it. That's it.
Okay, sir. Actually, Saturday class I didn't attend, so only
no issues.
The same. I mean, like the ADV also will be same. Like same. The duration will be same, like 1 month and 1.5 months, or it will be more.
Yes. It will be for around 45 days, 45 hours to 60 hours classes. The bricks.
Sir, are you teaching ADV as well?
Of course. ADV is also taught. Okay, you can just. Yeah.
Sir, today class is about Azure Data Factory, right?
Yeah, it is a data factory. Yes.
When will you start as per the syllabus, sir?
Let me complete first of all the basics now, bhai. See, if at all directly I get in to the subject and tell you the designing of a pipeline, will you understand it?
No. I'm also fresher.
Sir, in this class, how many years we will put a resume as experience, sir?
You can put up to 2 years or 3 years, 4 years, whatever you want, you can put it up. But you have to justify that. Justify means you should be able to get through it. So if you think that you are practicing this way, you can just go ahead. That's not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, brother. Okay, everyone. Okay.
Sir, will you conduct mock interviews?
Mock interviews and as such practice is not here, boss. But if you want, I can arrange for you guys. But I generally don't conduct this mock interviews and all these things. Okay. So we prepare the CVs. I'll help you out in preparing the CVs and putting up on this all portals, helping. That is what all the help is required from my end. I can do it. Mock interviews and all these things. Okay. I can provide you the recordings for that. You can prepare accordingly, but we don't conduct it because we have the size of the batch is very huge here. Okay, so we are not into practice of all these mock interviews and all, but obviously the learning purpose of each one of us is to get a job only. In that way, if you want, I can just support you in every aspect, whatever I can do up to the maximum extent. Yeah, go ahead. Anyone else? Any other questions?
Sir, still, how many demo classes are there, sir? From when the actual class will be started?
Already the actual class is started. It's not a demo, guys. This is actually the that is nothing but the class. We have already started it. We are into the subject now.
Okay. Samir, can you show me the material how it will be?
You can contact. You can check with this admin. Admin, she has that. I don't have that access.
Samir, when will be required the credit card for a subscription? I
Take
don't
the
have right now.
No, see, you have to take the subscription. I'll just a minute, guys. Before we leave, I just want one more minute. You just give me 2 minutes time. I'll show you how to opt for an access. Yesterday already, we have already done this, but still I wanted to show you guys in the last class, day before yesterday. We already done with it, but still I want to see. Whenever you wanted to opt for an subscription, go with what? Azure.com. Azure.com. Click on this Azure.com. Click on this Azure.com. See, you'll be drive here. This is nothing but the portal of Azure. So you can.
We are not able to see your screen.
Sir, we not able to see it.
Just a minute. Just a minute.
Notepad only shows.
Okay. Just a minute. Let me share you this.
Super friend. Super friend. Super laddu aad poi kuchoni. Daddy tinne.
Sir, what is the prerequisite to ADF?
Not required anything. Not required. There is no prerequisites. Okay, guys, see here. On this. Now can you clear the screen?
Yes, sir.
Now are you able to see the screen, guys?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Sir, please put on the mute, sir.
So here's this. Just put it on mute. Okay, just a minute. Put it on mute, guys. Gajendra. Now, guys, see, this is the actual Azure.com. You have to just click on this. At getting started, you can try, or else you can click on try for free. Free means what? The free version, whatever you have it. And now can you see start for free? Once you click on start for free, you will have to enter this, the username. That is nothing but you have to create one mail ID. You have to give it here. As already mine is given, Azure ADF Samir at Gmail. So simply the password is also there. Click on sign in. So once you click on the sign in, you will be drive here to what is that? Guys, just a minute. Share your screen. Just a minute. Okay, I'm just selecting on this. So just put it here. You can just see here portal.azure.com. Are you able to see my screen, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, portal.azure.com. You can just click on this. Can you see here? Once you click on the portal.azure.com, they'll just will drive back here. Okay, so consultant Samir, IT something is here. I'm just clicking on this. You have to enter the passcode. So anyways, this is not actually, the passcode and all those things. Actually, you have to change I have changed the browser. Just a minute, I'll do one thing now. I'll open this new port, that is the web page. Just a minute, I'm sharing, guys. Now, guys, you got it? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so just click on this Azure, portal.azure.com. Portal.azure.com. Once you click on this will be your actual page you have it. See, this is your ultimately the page. So portal.azure.com is your direct page to log in here. So with this particular mail ID, I have logged in. Can you see here? This is my mail ID using which I have logged in here. And we have two type of subscriptions. One is the paid, and another one is try for free. That is, free subscription will not last you very long. It will last you for only 45 days to 1 month. That's it. So it's better to, if you have it, it will not charge you more than 1,000 to 1,200 rupees per month. If you think that is mandatory, you can go ahead. If not, free also you can opt it. That's not a problem. Okay. So any other thing would you like to know, guys?
Say, sir, for if we'll take pay as you go, so as per your understanding, how much it will cost for 60 days approximately?
For the first month and not, it will charge you only 2 rupees. From the every month, next month onwards, if you want to use this, it is based on your usage. It will not cost you more than 1,200 to 1,000.
Suppose, sir, if we run any pipeline, that will cost?
You have to, I'll tell you yes, of course it will cost, 100% it will cost you, but you have to run the pipeline and delete it. I'll tell you that process. I'll tell you how to save the cost.
Samir, one doubt. Actually, which one is best for the subscription? Debit card or credit card?
See, credit card is the best. Debit card, they might have updated it. Just check it off. If they are accepting the debit card, you can go ahead with that also.
No, sir, not accepting.
Not accepting, then you have to use the credit card only.
Oh, okay. Sir, you will tell also how to reduce the cost?
Yeah, I'll tell you once we start.
Okay.
This is the first thing, Jana. I'll tell you how to reduce the cost, how to use this, how to delete it every time. I'll tell you everything.
Okay.
Logics, programming logics, I'll show you. Don't worry about this. Okay, any other questions?
Samir, will you create the WhatsApp group for this batch?
Yes, of course. Guys, what we will do is, just a minute. I'm just giving you, I'm just specifying my number here. You can just, we'll just create a group here. If you have any doubt, you can just call me up here. If you have any doubt, guys, you can just call me up on this number. This is my direct number. Okay. So
your screen is not visible.
Pardon?
Your screen is
not. Sir, we can't see the number.
Sir, just a minute. Now, can you see? Yes, all of you. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
You can just contact me on this. We'll create a WhatsApp group. We'll all be in touch in that. Okay, don't worry. And if you, if you have any,
interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I might have missed that update regarding the topics you will be covering in ADF. Do you have already shared or you're going to share again?
No, it is already there on the web page. You can go to the DURGASOFT web page. You will have the content brochure. Directly you can get it.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Thanks, Amir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, Samir, I have one query.
Yeah.
But last time I have missed this query. For you to for every services we have one certification, or for whole Azure Databricks, ADF, and Synapses, and SQL, Cosmos Leaps, whole one certification.
The certifications are not based on the this expertise on this particular domain, as you said, on this particular thing. It will be like the basic. There is something, but Azure data, that is engineering certificate, you'll have it, and then you'll have solution architects certification. So this will include some topics. This thing will have some specific topics to be included in that. It is not the service wise. It is not like Azure certified Synapse engineer or Azure certified blob engineer. It's not like that.
Okay. For that means Azure data engineering means they covering all questions like Azure Databricks, Azure Data Factory, Synapses.
Yes, of course. They may. No. Bricks is only the Bricks has a separate certification.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The Bricks has a specific certification for that.
Okay, but the remaining whole things like Data Factory, Synapses, and SQL for one certificate.
So Azure Data Lake will be covering here.
Obviously, without the data lakes, you cannot go ahead with ADF now. Data lakes, yeah.
For data factory,
So, like one more doubt, like creating a AWS account and creating a Azure account.
Pardon me?
Creating creating a Azure account and creating a AWS account. So both will be charged, like it will be the same kind of charge thing, or it will be different.
It depends upon your usage. This is pay as you go model. Whether you go for the ADF or you go for the ADF Azure, or you go with the Amazon Web Services, or you go for the Google Cloud Platform.
Okay.
The way you
because AWS is accepting the debit card.
Yeah. AWS is accepting the debit card, but Azure is not accepting the debit card. Only the credit cards are accepted. Yeah.
Yes, Samir. Databricks one certification, remaining four things are data factory, data delta lake. These are come under one category.
Yes.
Yes. So what is
basically the concept of bricks only? Okay. Because on the data lake, upon the data lake only, the delta lake is built off.
Yes. Okay.
That is a ground layer. The data lake is a ground layer. On that, delta lake is built or developed, you can say.
Okay. What is the code certification code? What is the certification code for Databricks and data factory these things?
Certification, that is a code and all these things I have to check and tell you.
I think it's DP300.
Yeah, I think yes. DP300.
DP300, yeah.
Yes.
Data engineer.
Yes.
Okay, for both or for data factory?
No, I think for only this one, bricks, I think so.
DB. For data factory, what is the code?
Just a minute. What I'll do is I'll share this thing. You ping me off on this my number. I'll share you this thing. You can just browse it, all the things. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
The level of certifications and all, I'll share it with you. With the code
you shared through chat. We are all are get it.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Any other questions for me?
Can you share the WhatsApp group link?
We'll create it. It's not yet created. I'll just create the WhatsApp group and let you know on this. Meanwhile, for the immediate this thing, for any queries, I have given you my number. If you want, you can just go ahead and call me. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Samir. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.